my.
Look who
I am
we have
overdressed
here.
again. Wow.
Wow.
You look so good.
Wow, dude.
Like yesterday, I was feeling I'm way too overdressed.
I love your outfit.
You
I
look
love everybody's
amazing.
outfit here. Everybody looks stunning. I will start with the show. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to the Indian Table Talks show created by Saranga Studio. My name is Saranga and I am a 2020 graduate and I am unemployed, and that's exactly why I have this show in the first place. If the name was not clear enough, the Indian Table Talks show is a round table talk with all Indians of all ages discussing their daily lives in India. Being part of a developing country, there will be various parts of this conversation which you might relate to or you might not have heard before. So, for the first episode of season 1 of the Indian Table Talk show, we have with us a panel of powerful, young, and ambitious women who want to make a positive difference in this world, but also at the same time want to have some peace and some self-love at the end of the day, because I mean that's what everybody like wants at the end of the day, some peace of mind. Please welcome Dipti Pisharodi, Divisha Kadamba, Sharayu Vadekar, and Hetvi Popat. Hi!
Hello.
Dipti is a software engineer by profession who is currently working in Kolkata, but she is currently living in Pune due to COVID. She is an avid reader and painter in her free time. She graduated in the year 2019 from Pune University and was the ladies representative of her college student council. She was also the captain of her college's women basketball team for 2 years. She volunteered to teach local government school children in Lonavala about desktop and laptop assembly. She's currently working as a system engineer at TCS. For her future, she's looking forward to work with new technologies in the IT as a business analyst. Her dreams include starting a small bookstore with a combined cafe someday far in the future. So, hi Dipti, welcome to the show.
She's an
Hi.
overachiever, it seems.
I
Yeah.
love books. I love food. I want to combine the two someday. And let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
So next one, we'll go with Divisha. Divisha is a 2020 graduate from Pune University in the field of architecture. She's currently based in Mumbai and has always been an enthusiast about participating in multiple college committees and college activities. She was interning in Ahmedabad last year. Divisha enjoys making art, looks forward to discovering various aspects of design. She does not believe in limiting herself to any particular field, in the field of architecture as well, and like I mean she's an all-rounder, so I think I don't think she believes to limit herself in any field. So welcome to the show, Divisha.
Thank you so much. That was very generous, but thank you.
The lady GSEC of our college, right?
Lady
So,
GSEC of
one
our
man
college.
army.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sharayu is currently a fourth-year student in the field of architecture from Pune University. She's currently working as an editorial for a publication of a book. She has worked as an editorial intern for Rethinking the Future. She is also one of those humans who will leave for a book fest at the cost of an exam. Okay.
Yeah.
She's often
That
seen
costed
on
a lot actually, but yeah.
she's often seen on a mic with on the stage, and she prefers to stay off social media. WhatsApp is
Yeah.
socializing, she says, and that's enough for her. She loves to trip at places and believes there's no utopia. So welcome to the show, Sharayu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Hetvi. So Hetvi is a fourth-year student of architecture from Marwadi University. She's based in Rajkot, Gujarat. For her career, she's looking forward to practice vernacular architecture and wants to develop or maybe help needy people. She enjoys performing for an audience, and she's an excellent performer. Like I've seen her perform, so yeah. And she's also interested in fashion and writing. So welcome to the show, Hetvi.
Thank you.
Let me just ask you all like one important question. Tell me, how have you been these last couple of months?
It's not a couple of months, it's this 6 months, half a year almost since we've been in quarantine. And a lot of it was anxiety combined with laziness, combined with extra hours at work. It's just focusing on one day at a time. And there's already so much negativity outside the media, social media, and I really love that Sharayu not on any of social media.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so I've been good. I'm really blessed, and I'm practicing gratitude every day.
Starting में actually I felt like this was a vacation. Okay, I was like 1-2 week रहेगा फिर खत्म हो जाएगा, मतलब वापस जाना है, एग्जाम देना है करके. But then I got a little anxious. Then there were phases. Okay, so after that I realized कि नहीं अब अच्छा लग रहा है, like. And now it's still that phase. Yeah, ठीक है, I'm fine because I'm getting a lot of time to spend with my family, which generally I don't get because my family is very busy, apparently. So yeah, this is the first time I'm getting so much time to actually spend with them. So it was nice. It's been calm.
Me, well, even I thought that it's gonna be like just 2 weeks of holidays, and I was way too happy than anybody else because I was so lacking in my submissions. So, I just threw everything there and then, and I just packed like bare minimum clothes because I thought ki I'm going to enjoy these 2 weeks to my fullest, ghar pe hai. And now, I used to stay in Mumbai pehle. And now I shifted to Goa. Like my parents shifted to Goa last year. Suddenly, slowly, things started getting worse. Also, people got a lot very fucked in this lockdown. So they were posting, stupid things all the time on social media, like something, and everybody will post that here and there. And I've gotten into a lot many fights this lockdown. So then I thought, ki maybe I have to do something. So that is when I decided I'm going to quit, social media. It's getting way too toxic for me. And then, I started interning with RTF. And then I was like, okay, life is going pretty good. I'm getting work, I'm doing that. And then suddenly college happened, like out of nowhere. And then things started getting worse from there again.
Hedvi.
Whatever shit happened, like lots of shit happened in this period, especially like during between time, not right now, but whatever shit happened actually formed me to a better person. So I'm liking it right now.
I did not know there was so much scope for self-improvement,
Yeah.
I swear to God, I did not know about that.
If this lockdown wouldn't
But
have been
this was
here,
amazing, dude.
like all 4 of us, wouldn't have been here talking to Sarah.
Right.
Because she would have been busy interning somewhere or the other, getting a job and this and that.
Reason behind like doing all of this is like a completely different thing. Like I had a heartbreak and like I had to get over it. So that's exactly why I'm doing all this stuff. My goal is to just keep growing.
I just want to say that this is a very good coping mechanism. There are far more destructive methods people opt to after a heartbreak. And kudos to you for moving on and doing this.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Without further ado, the theme for episode 1, season 1 is breaking the ice. Breaking the ice means do or say something to relieve tension. The show is broken into 2 segments. The first is serious talk, and the second is serious fun, because we take fun having very seriously. So starting with the serious talk segment, I have listed like a couple of stereotypes and questions that need some ice breaking. Okay, now some of these are taken from the Forbes magazine. Each one of y'all may answer this like very briefly. The first stereotype is women are prone to outbursts, thus should not be in power. So this is a stereotype which needs some ice breaking. So Hetvi.
Firstly, I believe that emotional thing or any emotions are not bounded to any gender. It's like anybody can be emotional and all of that, and it has nothing related with power. If you cry a lot, even if you're male or female, if you cry a lot in a 1 minute and on the next minute you are ready to do your work, you are the best person, I guess, to have any power rather than keeping everything inside. So this is not bound to any gender or anything. So
Fair enough. Next, Divisha.
So I think that it's a stereotype that guys are not supposed to cry in open. Okay, that's the problem. It's not like it's like Hedvi said that it's not gender related. It's just that in India it's thought that लड़के नहीं रोने चाहिए सबके साथ. So that's the whole problem. And I don't think like everything needs to have an emotional aspect, emotional quotient for for things to progress. So I think even if female as gender are emotional, I think it's completely fine and it is a plus point, is what I think.
So I'd like to start off by saying I understand that certain areas require the decisions have to be taken where emotion can't be counted in, and you have to be ruthless sometimes. While if it's business or something, you can't be emotional. And there's also another thing that it's obviously again generalizing women as being emotional fools, which is a typical patriarchal thing to do. And if we are generalizing women as having emotional problems, then we also can generalize that men have ego problems, so they shouldn't be in power. So we can't generalize. And I personally know women who are very strong and not emotional, as one might say, and men who are quite sensitive and emotional. So it goes either way. And I think, as Hetvi said, it's not gender specific. It shouldn't be.
Okay. Shari?
Well, I don't know. I have like, I think two, three concepts bursting in my mind since the time you asked the question. First, though, I like to, take it in a reverse way. Like a woman is empowered. She knows very well, how to control her mental state and how to, control the work that she has to do. So I think that is that, like the question doesn't stay valid like that, if we see it in that way. And then even if we consider okay, women are emotional, have emotional outbursts, I think it is a very good point, for like being in power, because unless and until there is nothing very drastic or dramatic or something serious, because once a woman has went through an emotional outburst, she is very clear in her head that what she wants and how to get there. So I think that that is one of the reason why women should be in power, apart from being emotional. I think just we need to change our perception about how we define power and the person who controls the power.
Like the gist of it, all of y'all agree, this particular stereotype should not be just for women. Like it should not be gender biased or anything, right? Like it needs some ice breaking.
Yeah.
Second stereotype we have is anger is a sign of status in men, but when women show anger, they are viewed as less competent.
Pretty much, like people are scared of an angry woman. I don't know if anybody would ever think ki, oh, she's less competent just because she's angry. I think people are scared ki, oh shit, like she's angry now, like we have to, like I don't know, but she can do something. Like if a woman is angry, I think that people are pretty much sure that she is the one and she can do stuffs and she can get things done for herself. लड़कों में तो like in men it is obviously understood कि ठीक है, he has to be angry, so it is nothing new when a man is angry to about status. But when a woman is, so we know that she is in power, or she knows what to do and where to go and how to go there. So like that.
Ithvi?
Anything isn't bounded by man, women, or anything. Like anger is a natural thing, and nothing is to make a really big scene about an angry woman or an angry man or anything. It's a natural thing, and we have to accept that anybody can feel it. Anybody can be angry. Anybody can do that. Like suppose men are angry and they are fighting with each other, and then people will go and stop them, right? And if women are angry and fighting with each other, people will make video and make it viral. We have seen lots of videos of women fighting. We don't have to differentiate and make this comparison and all those stuff. Okay, this is a natural thing and it happens with anybody. Even we do have lots of mythological examples of angry women in our.
Yeah, dude. Angry women started a war.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Next, we'll go with Dipti.
So even I think that this stereotype is invalid because, again, anger can't be gender biased. And I understand that there's a lot of deep-rooted misogyny that still exists in some workplaces. I'm not saying it's there all around, but there is. It does exist. And I know that a woman in power has to work twice as hard to get taken seriously.
Yeah.
Because men get taken seriously very easily, and a woman, unless she's angry or she's protesting, or she has to work twice as hard as a man. And so in that sense, I get why people will think that, oh, she's just throwing a temper tantrum and everything, whereas a men in her place would have been taken far more seriously. And that which is something which is changing. It's different when there's an age difference, right? A woman much older to you, everyone will listen to her. But when you're working with people who are of your age and you are in a position of authority over them, then the scenario is different. That was my point. That's my opinion.
Next, Divisha.
Actually, all three of them have mentioned everything. And secondly, yeah, also that when we are angry, I guess people tend to listen more. I don't know why, but yeah, that happens. So we have to have this strong-headed behavior since the starting.
And I hate that sentence, oh, she's very angry, she must be PMSing. What the hell is that?
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
You can't justify a person's anger based on whether they're menstruating or not. One bad part is that there are many girls who do this. Okay, you're just PMSing, just sit down somewhere, go relax. That's very condescending behavior. As girls, we should be empowering each other.
So then this stereotype is also busted. Forbes magazine, if you are watching this, your stereotypes, I have busted this on my show. Fuck you. This again might be controversial considering we're in India. Girls are not supposed to enter the kitchen or the temple while on their periods. I mean, what is it with periods and temples? I don't understand.
I have talked about this with my mom a lot, many times. In olden days, in India, basically, majorly a woman used to do, all the house chores and puja part and this and that, ye karna, wo karna, wo karna. So the only aim behind not letting them enter into a temple or kitchen is that she should get rest. She should not exert on the things, because women are, overworkers, dude. Like you give them एक काम, वो 10 काम करके छोड़ देंगे. They won't, कि एक काम है तो एक ही काम नहीं. So that was the basic idea of not letting them enter into that. And then later on, religion के नाम पे, and it's like we all know what happened later on. अभी भी if there is this thing, तो अभी तो come on, like women are very much कि हाँ मैं ये करूंगी. Periods में तो लड़कियां क्या क्या नहीं करती है, dude. A lot many things they do. So जाना है मंदिर तो जाओ, नहीं जाना है तो घर पे बैठो. But please stereotype मत करिए.
Yeah.
I agree that many people have twisted the thing to benefit themselves and to encourage misogyny. So even I think it's invalid.
Okay.
In today's generation.
Yeah, I do agree that it does not apply in today's generation.
Kaitri?
Yeah. There's nothing to relate with periods. It's just your body is transferring and your bodies have changed, and you don't care while you're working. Then why do you care while you're praying? So it depends on our wish.
Like if a woman wants to, she'll go. If she doesn't want to, she won't go.
I just like to point out one incident. We are very privileged. We live in, we have parents who are understanding, who won't force us to do all these things. But there are other people, I think in the rural areas and everything, who are still being taught this. And there was this incident, I think 2 years back. There's this famous temple in Puri, Orissa. And one girl, she went there during her periods, and unfortunately or something, I guess there was a stain and people saw that. And the thing, I mean, everyone will be disgusted. And they not only banished her from there, they had to carry out a shuddhi of the entire temple. They did that. They performed a shuddhi ritual or something. They washed the entire temple or something. It was madness, and I cringed so bad when I heard that story. But it also made me aware that this is happening. These topics need to be talked about.
If I am in a family where it has been taught to me that I shouldn't go into a temple while I'm like on my periods, and if I still go, I'm like I am a very liberal kind of person ki I don't care what you all say, and I go there. Some things keep on always happening to us which are good, which are not good. So if I come from there and like something bad happens to me, I'll suddenly relate with that thing ki, oh, they have told me that I shouldn't have gone there into the temple on my periods, but I still went. So maybe that is why this bad thing has happened to me. If I wouldn't have went, that thing. So it is all about, I think, at the end of the day, beliefs.
So this third stereotype is subjective to lots of people. So we'll just keep it there. But the audience who is watching this, I hope you you have your own opinion on this particular matter and put it down in the comments here, there, anywhere. So the fourth one and the last stereotype for today's episode is lots of places in India are not safe for people of the LGBTQ community to be out of the closet. Like, what is your opinion on this?
It's not a stereotype, it's a fact. People actually aren't safe, a lot of the members of the LGBTQ community. In urban areas, still, we are lucky enough, no one is persecuting anyone. Of course, many people have to hide, they're closeted throughout their lives, and they're married, and then they have kids because of that fear.
Some rural families can be so open, and some urban families can be, like,
So
I don't know,
conservative.
like, so orthodox, and so I don't know. It is again subjective to me, and I think like this is not only about India, but this is about, I think, everywhere.
Especially in India, if you are talking about, it's not a stereotype, it's actually the reality. So what happens is, I think we are not talking enough about it. That's the whole problem. I think we have to talk more about it to actually generalize it. No offense, but we are talking about unnecessary shit around, but we're not talking about things that are necessary. This is something that we need to talk about more.
In India, we need acceptance for everything, this LGBTQ and lots of other things. So people are not accepting things. It's normal things. We should not define as them like lesbian couple, gay couple, straight couple. They are couple. Okay, fine. We should take it normal, and the more we start taking it normally, personally, people will understand.
There was this Bollywood this actress, okay, I think this particular person was a trans woman. उसका नाम डॉली कुछ तो था, याद नहीं आ रहा मुझे. बहुत 90s kids might know it.
Bobby Darling.
Bobby Darling.
I remember. This is one of the examples that I'm talking about. They were not thought of normal people.
I don't know, like some certain people like just enjoy wearing this like extremely like what we call loud makeup might be normal for them. So again, normalcy, like being normal is completely subjective to every person. I don't like having long hair, and that's normal to my mother. My mother wants me to have long hair. That's if I want to be free, if I want to be myself, my mother won't like it. My parents and I have had so much like fight over me shaving my head. बहुत कुछ drama हो चुका है ये, like this past quarantine. Similarly, like I think the community, like members of the community, I feel like if they are just being themselves, they are just shunned upon by like lots of people. People can just be like, "Arey, wow, like you're looking nice," or maybe, I don't know, just be nice about anything.
Reality is only subjective too. Like,
Yeah, dude.
come on.
So, the audience, we are doing this for the 150th time because my internet connection is all. After this intense discussion, let's lighten things up by just talking about normal stuff that we did in the quarantine period. Did anybody learn a new hobby, or maybe just binge watch any series?
First of all, the major change in my life is I wasn't clean person at all, and now I'm feeling I have OCD. Learned to write songs and play ukulele.
Teach me. I bought a ukulele, hoping that I would finally, learn, because it is just like 4 chords, and dude, my hands, I just did not know. So please make YouTube videos so that I can see them. I've literally wasted my time like anything, me and my roommate, just, tripping all the time, high as not worked at all, just not given about anything. And then, when I came here, drastic change with family and all. And, that is when I got my internship also with RTF. Could not believe that, oh, this is me working literally. So, I just replaced that hype with, something, that actually helped me.
So I was saying that since all of us are consumers of some design idea at the end of the day, be it a toothpaste product or be it makeup, any single thing, har kuch phone, har kuch, like every single thing that we use has been designed in a particular way by some person. So do you think a good design has the power to change the society? How much do you think, like what is a good design according to you, and how do you think it will change the society is the question.
I think that rather than putting it as good design and bad design, it should be efficient design and a less efficient design. Design is something which we have a non-verbal communication with. Design, can affect us, through like the kinesthetic part, through the olfact, like through smell, through touch, to put it simple way, not just visually, but through all the different senses. So it affects our psychology a lot.
I think functionality could be efficient and less efficient. Design is something that it is very subjective. Like one person could like it, the other could not, may not like it.
We have the chance to give people opportunities which can change the social things. Okay, like we have a chance to design such thing which can force them to do something. I mean, if you won't give window, they won't look outside, right? So every design plays a really important role because we give the opportunity to use something or to see something in different perspective. We have to be sensitive enough to understand the user part.
Hetvi like touched a point there. Can we through design just manipulate the human brain to do something like a maze? Like a maze, you are directing the person to go take a right, take a left. Because the design of the maze is directing the person to go a certain way. Similarly, like can we through design just direct a person to do certain things? We can have less of problems if we sort of direct people through design. Is what the gist of the question was in some way.
I don't think that we'll have less problems. I think, if we design it efficiently, maybe we'll have efficient solutions to those problems. We can't say ki problems nahi honge because problems is part of life. That is what life is.
Yeah, even in IT, I think, like coding may be designing mechanism hota hai. You get those pop-ups, like those links and all. You click on this. So you are like directing the brain to do certain things. IT does that like very efficiently. Yeah, applications doing so well, and Instagram taking all of our attention.
Designers are devils here because
Yeah.
they very well study, the consumers, and they very smoothly, just like set a trap for us, and we just keep on, walking on to what they've done, thinking ki wow.
As women, do you feel safe being in this country? Do you feel safe being here?
Rather than asking this question, ki, do you feel safe? Just tell me a place where you feel safe. There is no place where you can feel safe. Ki, okay, I am safe here. And there was this one person, jiska maine Tum Tum is like that 6-seater gaadi jo lagaya tha, who used to drop me from my home and back to college. So and then I just came out of the college, and then I saw that he was the only person who was there. I used to call him Kaka, Kaka, like aisa. I had this kind of thing, like girls have this sixth sense, and the sixth sense never lies to you. So I felt a bit weird, but then I was like, कि ठीक है, चलो यार, क्या ही होगा, देख लेंगे. So I went, and then suddenly he started behaving really very abnormally, and I don't know, like I won't elaborate on those things, but he was really being very weird and creepy and touching and this and that. And that time I also did not have my phone, so he had given me a spare phone. This number tick 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 wala, that dabba phone rehta hai na, so it was really a big task, and I also knew that he has weapons into his gaadi. So I had to be cautious and careful at that time also, but then somehow I pulled it off. I went home safe without him doing nothing to me other than chheda chhadi.
Sometimes what happens is we accept few things we shouldn't accept. I feel unsafe a lot going out of my house sometimes at night and all the stuff in India. And wherever I heard this rape cases and all the things, it's just shaken me off and I feel unsafe. The biggest fear of any girl maybe is the rape.
Ever since we've matured or anything, even when we were kids, like we've been told not to go out over here after this time, and not to go alone. You always have few people with you and everything. So in that regard, I never understood why they were saying all this. And listening to these rape cases, these are just 2 rape cases which have been reported. There's so many cases happening which are not even getting reported from the start. I mean, there was this guy who used to like very casually touch women, and it used to make, I think, all of my friends very uncomfortable. Something is making one person uncomfortable, we should just tell it straight to their face. And we did tell him collectively that this what you're doing is making us feel very uncomfortable, and just please stop doing that. And he was also very nice enough about it, and he just apologized to everyone.
they say in Marathi, "Ubha adva kapne." There, a mother should teach their daughters how to cut a person into, like
Half.
X and Y axis. Yeah. So like that, so that is something which is doable, which is very doable, because girls can do that, not just girls, I mean any gender can do that.
So, but we should not normalize it.
I mean, I've taken up a lot of your time already, and I'm really grateful कि तुम लोग इतना patiently अभी भी हो यहाँ पे. Thank you so much for being so
But
patient.
I'm really enjoying this, honestly.
I'll say a phrase, and you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind. A dirty fellow.
I'm very sorry, but मुझे वो वाला phrase याद आ रहा है, yellow dirty fellow. That stupid, I don't know, that jingle kind of a thing which we had in school, sitting
Yeah.
on a buffalo ऐसे करके.
Lal dupatta.
उड़ गया. I got this song in mind, like,
What do you expect apart from Lal Dupatta Ud Gaya?
Yeah.
Like, what else?
So I just wanted to see like कितना instinct में है वो song लाल दुपट्टा उड़ गया, मतलब it was so instinct.
अगर किसी को वो नहीं हिट होता है तो maybe that person is not Indian.
What do you think about when you hear potholes?
Potholes, wow. The first time, anytime I hear pot, I just can't get off my mind from that. And hole, I don't know, something very nasty. So yeah, potholes is like heaven basically for me. So yeah, like pot plus holes is like, I don't know, ew, that was way too nasty, but yeah.
Matchmaker.
Hima Tapani.
Himanti.
Matchmaker.
Yeah, it's this cringy show on Netflix. For those
Yeah,
of you who don't know.
I know that. I know that. Like Rutvik used to watch that apparently from my Netflix all the time. So whenever I used to open, that shitty thing used to pop up. Continue watching. So yeah, so Rutvik I think pops up in my mind from Matchmaker, and he used to promise me that he's not going to watch. And every time I used to open, it used to be season 1 episode this.
Khoon, blood, khoon.
I don't think there is any glamorous answer to this. For me, it's like very. It's, I don't know, periods pop up to my mind. I don't know if I'm
Same.
going to PM.
Periods popped up.
Yeah.
Periods is something that popped up.
Every other answer is fine unless and until somebody answers fetish.
Okay, the world is ending in a week. What do you wish you would have done earlier? And what would you do in this last 1 week?
I wanted to travel more. That is something that I realized during the lockdown कि कम किया है मतलब. Lockdown made me realize that.
Rice लोगों के wishes I said, कि travel करना. So any which ways the world is gonna end. So like I can just throw all of my submissions aside, and something that I wish I would have done. Actually, it's nothing कि I wish कि मैंने किया होता, क्योंकि अगर मैंने wish किया रहता तो मैंने वो तब भी कर दिया होता. Apparently. And yeah, अगर कुछ करना हो so I'll just trip this 1 week like anything on and stuff, and just enjoy the beauty of the world ending along with me, because I'm not the only one dying. Everybody around me is also dying, so I just see those trippy side things and the beauty of it while the world is dying, and finally humanity would come to an end. So I'd be happy.
I slapped lots of people. Firstly, I'm sorry, but this is in my priority.
Slap?
If word is ending, I have to slap some people.
Slap? Are you
Slap.
going to slap or you want to slap?
She wants to slap people, dude.
Oh,
Slap.
वो तो अभी कर दे जाके.
She's secretly I don't know, I mean she's
Savage.
beware लेके घूमना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
she wants to slap people in the last 1 week. Okay.
That's the first thing that will get over in 2-3 hours.
I hope I don't meet her in this 1 week then. So slap is your priority. Wow. Slap.
Yes,
Then
I
Sarah thinking of
definitely want to
Khoon.
slap.
Wow. People are actually coming out of the closet. So
For me, I've always wanted to adopt a dog. I'm a big time dog person, and I was never able to do so because I was either living in another city or I was with my parents. My parents don't like dogs. So I would adopt a dog. I would experience that dog's love for a week, and then I would eat a lot. I would do whatever. I would unleash all my desires. And I would
What desires
uh,
would you want to unleash in this 1 week? What would you do, Sarah, in this 1 week?
I would shoot somebody. I think I'll shoot somebody. Thank you so much for being on the first episode of season 1 of the Indian Table Talks show. Thank you for watching. The next episode coming soon, so stay tuned, and I will see you until next time. Bye.
Don't forget to put the disclaimer, okay, that no person's feelings are harmed during any kind of discussion, especially what I say. World is ending in a week. Our soul shouldn't just bhatkofai ki ye bolna bhul gaye the. Just answer
Yeah.
please.
So 1,
Okay.
Yes.
2, 3. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.